When we talk about aviation safety, you usually focus on the aircraft. But as you navigate a high-speed environment like a tight canyon, the most critical and vulnerable piece of equipment on board is your own body. To ensure you are operating at peak capacity, we are going to build a tangible, step-by-step, personal pre-flight and in-flight health checklist. You will learn how to assess your physical baseline on the ground, identify invisible atmospheric hazards in the air, and outsmart deadly optical illusions during your approach. Relying on a gut feeling about your health is dangerous. A deliberate, written checklist is the only reliable defense against preventable human error accidents. Step 1 begins before you ever touch the throttle. You need to perform a physical pre-flight scan, checking yourself for baseline symptoms like unexpected tremors or a dry mouth. A hot flight deck takes a rapid physiological toll on the human body. To maintain baseline function, you need to consume 2 to 4 quarts of water every 24 hours. Once you are in the air, those hydration targets become more specific. You should drink 1 pint of water per hour in moderate conditions, escalating to 1 full quart per hour if you are dealing with severe heat. Dehydration accelerates fatigue. While normal tiredness is easily recognized, skill fatigue is harder to spot. It causes deadly timing disruptions, where you might perform your usual tasks, but the integrated pattern of your operations becomes slightly out of sync. Passing this physical pre-flight scan is the baseline requirement. It ensures you have the cognitive bandwidth necessary to safely operate the aircraft. Once you are strapped in, we move to step 2, scanning your body and the cockpit for invisible environmental threats. This split screen compares a healthy pilot to one suffering from hypoxia, a severe lack of oxygen. Actively check your extremities. If you notice cyanosis, a blue tint to your fingernails or lips, or if you suddenly feel an unearned sense of euphoria, you're becoming hypoxic. Carbon monoxide poisoning presents differently. This colorless, odorless gas sneaks in through leaky heater vents and binds to your blood, causing blurred vision, dizziness, and a noticeable loss of muscle power. You also have to monitor your cargo. Transporting dry ice is hazardous because it sublimates directly into carbon dioxide gas. In a small, sealed cockpit, it will rapidly displace your oxygen and cause intoxication. If you are accidentally exposed to aviation fluids like hydraulic oil or fuel, immediate first aid is required. Flush your skin and eyes with clean water for at least 15 minutes. If fuel is ingested, never induce vomiting, as this can cause severe lung damage. These chemical and atmospheric threats do not trigger smoke alarms. Rigorous physiological self-monitoring is your only early warning system. Step 3 focuses on actively equalizing your body's internal cavities against changing atmospheric pressure. During climbs and descents, trapped gas expands in your middle ear and sinuses. If your eustachian tube is blocked, expanding gas creates severe pressure against your eardrum, causing pain. To relieve this, use the Valsalva maneuver. Pinch your nostrils shut, close your mouth, and blow slowly. Gentle pressure forces air safely upward through the eustachian tube, equalizing the middle ear and relaxing the eardrum. Pressure changes can also trigger motion sickness. Experiencing this does not mean you are unfit to fly. It is simply an anomaly where your brain receives conflicting sensory messages from your eyes and inner ear. You can manage this immediately by opening fresh air vents, minimizing your head movements, and focusing your eyes on distant, stationary objects outside the airplane. Understanding the exact mechanics of pressure and motion empowers you to control your physical comfort, rather than suffering helplessly through the flight. Our final step addresses the brain's visual processing, recognizing optical tricks and surviving spatial disorientation. Look at this split-screen comparison. On the left is a standard runway approach. On the right, a narrower than usual runway destroys your depth perception. It creates a false optical illusion that you are at a higher altitude, tricking your brain into flying a dangerously low approach. Your inner ear is equally vulnerable. The vestibular system cannot differentiate between gravity and the G-forces of an aircraft maneuvering. When you lose outside visual references, your sensory system completely fails. A common example is the somatogravic illusion. When you accelerate rapidly during takeoff, the force pushes you back in your seat. Without a visible horizon, this falsely convinces your brain that the aircraft is pitching up into a steep climb. This graphic shows the danger. You might feel like you are pitching up, but the attitude indicator proves the aircraft is actually in straight and level flight. The absolute golden rule of instrument flying is that you must actively cross-check your bodily sensations against the panel. Surviving an illusion is not a test of natural balance. It requires the strict discipline to trust cold instrument data over your own lying senses. Here is your fully assembled personal health and flight checklist, covering hydration, environmental threats, pressure management, and sensory illusions. Keep this list physically accessible on your kneeboard. Checking off these items transforms theoretical knowledge into a practical, everyday safety net. An airworthy machine depends entirely on a healthy, self-aware pilot. If you found this checklist helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more aviation safety breakdowns.